All right, section 4 is all about change. And obviously, if you want to be a good leader and you want to put plans in place and you want to get your team to the places of results, you are going to have to make changes. If you want to be creative or innovative, as we looked at in the first section, we're going to have to make changes. So, change is something that you have to deal with, and you have to learn how to deal with it, and you have to manage it. So, one of the first things that you can think about when dealing with change is what happens if there is a fire in the next room? How would you lead an evacuation? You've got to lead change. You've got to make people uncomfortable. You've got to then take command. You need to take charge. You need to get them out, and they need to listen to your voice. And so, change management is a lot about taking charge, taking hold of the situation, and getting people to follow you through times that are uncomfortable, through times that are uncertain. And so that's really what change is. So, if you had to think about it, how would you lead an evacuation? Some of you have got processes, and that will help you. But otherwise, you really have to think it through, stay calm, and try and get people to have confidence in you and then to lead the change. So, what kinds of changes are there? First thing we need to think of is, why do we need to change as people? What are those circumstances that have led to us needing to change as people? All of us have changed from young age, getting into our adulthood, and no matter where you are in your life, you have had to make changes. And why have you had to make changes? So I want you to think about some of the changes that you've made over the last couple of years, and why did you make those changes? I want you also to think about the organizations that you're part of. What kind of changes have you had to go through? And why did you have to go through them? And so, hopefully, that will open your eyes to how important change is and why we need to constantly get to grips with change. Now, there are four different kinds of change, and we need to know what they are, and we need to know when they are used. So the first thing is called anticipatory changes. So we can anticipate them. We're ready for it. We know it's going to come. And so we need to make plans based on that change that is going to come. We can anticipate that the change is coming. Then we've got something called reactive change. Now, this is unexpected. We never foresaw this, we never could plan for it. It just happened, and now we have to react. We need to make changes in order for us to survive, something that we didn't think would happen. Then we've got to look at things called incremental changes. Incremental just means small changes. Now, in order to make things work better, sometimes we need to make small little changes in processes and systems in order for it to flow better, in order for us to get the results that we want. So constantly we're looking for little ways of being able to get better results, and we need to make incremental changes. But there are also things called strategic changes. Now, if you want to take hold of new opportunities, we sometimes need to change the whole strategy. And that could require a whole bunch of things: changing the organizational structure, restructuring, uh, adding new products, buying new companies. In order for us to find a new direction for the company to go to take hold of these advantages and opportunities, we need to make strategic changes. Now, this changes the whole shape and direction of the organization. And so, when have you been part of anticipatory changes? When have you been part of reactionary changes? When have you been involved in incremental changes? And have you ever been part of strategic changes? So, I want you to think about those four changes. And while you're thinking about it, you are going to go into the first formative section. So, in groups, what I want you to do is to refer to the four main changes that we've just spoken about and discuss where you have experienced one or more of these types of changes in your workplace. Consider why change was needed, how the change was implemented, and what the impact of the change was on your work. And then underneath, you are going to make notes based on your discussion, based on your thinking, based on your reflection of those four kinds of changes and how it was implemented. All right, so I want you to attack this formative section. Give yourself 15 minutes to make as many notes as you can. Work with the people around you or virtually through things like WhatsApp or any kind of other platform. All right, so this is formative assessment 4.1. You now have 15 minutes to do that, and then I'll see you on the next video.